Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Speed Gaming Live A Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. Tonight we have Crosskeys, 100% locations. This is going to be slightly different than some of the previous Crosskeys seeds you've seen because we can't have self-locking keys this seed. So it has some logical implications, but not a ton. Joining me tonight on comms, we have Professor Renderer, and tracking is Lady Laura Linda. How are you doing, Renderer?
I'm doing fine, and to fill out some extra details in here, this is in preparation for the Crosskeys tournament that just started today, in fact.
Well, about to start. Registrations close in like 2 hours, and matches are being rolled in 3. So yeah, it's going. It's gonna get going very quickly.
Yeah, so yeah, this will be interesting. If you've seen a Crosskeys see before, then you probably know what it is. But for those who are not, as we get underway here, this is a cross-world entrance seed. So certain entrances can lead to the Dark World and vice versa. And this is also a full key sanity shuffle.
Yeah. For our starting routes, it looks like Zelga-san has turned into a bit of more of a sync starter and started Sanctuary. Plumeria Knight, on the other hand, is going to go right up the castle. This is a bit different. Usually, a lot of people would like to maybe do a Houlihan start. So this is kind of the Plumeria showing one of the rare starting modes, but did get rewarded with bombos and has bombs for the well, so that's nice.
Yeah, which is available here in this Uncle Dropdown. Zelga choosing to do the Sank start just because of the fact that you can check a dropdown right out of the game.
Yeah. Looks like our tier 1 is single bombs. Zelga, on the other hand, has found Desert Palace over at the Lumberjack House. I didn't see what dropdown it was, but it didn't look like there was anything.
I believe that may have been... I think that was probably Magic Bat, but it was a quick check, so I couldn't extrapolate too much from it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure when Plumeria gets up to checking those entrances, we'll find out. We've got a key on the torch, so probably boots are going to show up at some point today. You know, an early lamp. Not the worst thing in the world.
Okay, so it was useless fairy according to the chat, so that's a good information. And as far as our MSU options are concerned, Zelga-san is running Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, as evident by the boost, right? And Plumeria Knight is going to be doing vanilla.
Yeah. I think in the pre-race chat, Zelga was saying that people will finally have the excuse to play Ghost Trick. It's finally coming. I think the re-release is coming out in a week or 2 or something.
Yeah, the remastered port of the game that also brings it to PC and Switch. So that's a good if you ever wanted to play one of Shu Takabe's more innovative titles that he's created for Capcom. Now is a chance to do so.
Desert Palace Man was just the Eastern area fairy, and that's not too bad to find Super Money Cave from the other side. I believe that was the Witch's Hut.
Yeah, so that Super Bunny top doesn't really do anything for Plumeria. So, yeah, over in the Witch's Hut.
Yeah, it's just, to be honest, though, it's a really nice... At the very worst, it's just like a really long set of 2 item... a really long 2-item cave. But, it's nice to know that, like, if we have a bunch of connectors and Super Bunny's one of them, when you find it later on, you can just skip it completely, because that's one that actually you get a lot of preference the following because it does give you 2 items. Now it looks like the Plumerian Knight's trying to do a fake flipper here. So the trick to doing a fake flipper on the screen is that you kind of have to like hold up and left or up and right depending on how you're doing the screen transition, and it seemed to be the problem that Plumeria was having it a little bit. Zelda, on the other hand, has found their first glove, which is the Bonk Rocks at that would have been Hammerpeg's cave at Eastern Palace.
Correct. And so that this is within the Eastern Dive. So yeah. What you'll see in Crosskeys Seeds is that the way that things start off is that everyone will be starting checking entrances just to plan out the map here. As we find out that Plumeria Knight has found Ganon on the Sync dropdown, which is glove locked, which we know of a glove already.
Yeah. It's a glove where you're probably going to get to it pretty quickly. It's a light world location. You kind of knock those out in the first 20-25 minutes is the seed or so. Cape and Book so far, and Blindside, which was the Flute 5 cave. So that's good for a lot of good value, high density caves so far. And Plumeria's found Desert Palace as well.
Yeah, so this is the just Plumeria just following in Zelga's footsteps.
Yeah. Now I didn't quite see exactly where the west side of Desert Palace left out. Zelga went in and then immediately went back in.
It only just led to it led out to the Dark World, but I believe it was. I forget exactly what when the Dark World was, but it was the Dark World connector.
Yeah, so Plumeria opted to grab the one item in there. We'll probably find the Desert Palace, the other side of Desert Palace once they go to Eastern area. But it's gonna opt to probably head to Kakariko from here because, you got 1 billion entrances to check.
Yeah, and this is just the nature of Crosskeys because you're... Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm just curious about Zelda. He saw it was the well, and then he opted to... I don't know if this is faster or not. Walking around Hyrule Castle takes a lot of time. But he's saving to quit to Link's house to go back for the drop down in the well instead of walking out of Hyrule Castle. It caught me by surprise, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but as I was going to point out too, was that this is what what's common with these darts is that of Crosskeys, you're searching around to fill out your map and what entrances lead to where. And I'll say this from experience that making the jump from normal play to entrance is very daunting. But if you have someone who knows Crosskeys from like back to front, it's great. It's wise to have someone like co-op of to get a feel for it.
Yeah, I think when I started to try to do Crosskeys, I think the very first thing I did was, oh no, we have found Zelga's weakness on Plumeria Knight's side, Eastern Palace.
Yep. So it's probably likely that Zelga will do a Zelga DEP.
Yeah, I'm interested because we got a really early lamp, which means, oh boy. I think you really should dip Eastern Palace in that case, because that means instead of 3 checks in logic, you have 4, and there we go. There goes Zelga, and he's gonna miss a flute for a while.
Yeah, that is definitely a Zelga DEP. So if anyone has emotes for that, just drop that in there now. But yeah, this is a common play that Zelga will always do when it comes to Eastern Palace. He'll just wait until later until going into Eastern Palace.
Yeah. I tend to be the problem is that Eastern House is 3 checks in logic, but they're kind of a slow 3 checks. And you can always go grab yourself a 4th check as well. And I know why he does it. I'd like to do it a lot too, but early lamp, that makes me really wanting to push, like, in dark locations. Now this is because, like, unlike normal non-entrance rando, all of our dark rooms are locked by the lamp. There is no fire rod exception that you get to see with the advanced item placement logic. Zelga's having some problems with bomb escape, but gets his mitts. All of a sudden, we have mire access.
Correct.
Between the 2 runners.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think what happened was that I think the guard did not aggro the way he wanted to. So those 2 bombs did not really land at all because he was waiting for the aggro and it didn't come out.
Yeah, because the guard will chase you, and then the first bomb hits, and that'll shove up the second bomb's explosion. And this looks like it's going to work a little better.
Yeah, I've had issues with bomb escape in recent memory when I'm trying to throw the bomb down and then off to the side, above the chest, where I get the guard aggros earlier than I thought it would be.
So. And we're going to see if we're going to get some interesting diversions here. Castle Tower is not in logic because technically we don't have anything to actually kill the guards that isn't bombs. You can't do it with just bombs. But with that flute, I don't think Plumeria Knight's going to immediately dive Hyrule Castle, because I think you can get around to do a lot more things and hopefully find yourself a sword. Or something to make that combat a little easier. Interesting. Well, they're immediately heading for Dark Cross, which is, I think, a smart thing. Again, pushing lamp checks.
Yeah, if you have the lamp so early on, it makes sense to just go for the lamp checks now.
I'm just afraid that Plumeria is going to not want to push off doing the dungeons, but we'll see. Especially after you get a blue mail and you can't death warp as easily.
Yeah, in cases where your only means of getting back to the front of the dungeon is by doing death warps, you don't want to find a blue mail this early on.
Well, my fears are thankfully assuaded. Yeah, now logically, only this check with the our second glove is in logic. The other 2 require Hyrule Castle support. But there was nothing in.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll let you finish after that. But so we did see Zelga-Dazan find Sashrala, and Green Pendant was situated in Swamp Palace. Now you can go.
Oh yeah. These other 2 things are not in logic, but they weren't anything, so it didn't really matter too much. And there was also Quake on the bottle vendor, so we're already at 2 or 3 medallions. Which means we're really a sword, and we've got a sword and a Moon Pearl, where we got a 66% chance of opening the Mire entrance in less than 15 minutes into a Crosskeys seed, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, a lot of the top runners will. You see a lot of the top runners get times in roughly about like just under 2 hours. But it isn't uncommon for it to go 2 hours or more, or even 3 at max 3 hours.
Yeah. Realistically, like, it kind of depends on how. Oh no. Okay. Plumeria opted to kill the green guard, which is unfortunate because even with Blue Mail, that deals half a heart of damage to you. So you're not gonna.
This should be fine, I think.
Yeah, they had to use the red guard instead. But they only have 1 bomb left. Zelda did find Burna in Thieves Town in a shield. Burna does actually put Agate Tower into logic, at least the first room. But, yeah.
So now Plumeria Knight will find out what Sashrala has for the green pendants, and that's intel that Plumeria Knight has.
Well, there's 1/2 a thread of rock. Liberian. Oh, they accidentally talked to the guard. They summoned the guard. They talked to the snitch and they summoned the guard.
Not too uncommon to see that. Or not too, well, yeah. Or not too common to see it, rather is.
Yeah. Yeah, this is...
No, you go.
I was gonna say, this is actually good heads up from Zelga right here. Bird is enough to kill that poke even some kind of annoying, because you get a full magic refill right after checking lava chest if you go out the main door instead of backing through like everybody usually does.
Yeah, and what I was going to comment though is that as someone who does do MSUs as well, it's always sad to see like the one track that the summon guard track rarely gets popped up, right? Pops up.
Yeah. I purposely I have an MSU and I'm working on an update to it, and I purposely chose one of the more popular tracks for that guard song because it's both thematically popular and it's also popular, and I think it's a little overplayed.
Which one are you talking about?
I have a Toho MSU. My guard music. Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's what, UNON or what?
Yeah, it's UNON is here. It was her.
I took a wild guess, and I figured because UNON is one of those iconic pieces of Toho track, like Toho songs, for effectively a secret boss in Toho 6.
It's the extra stage boss. It's the bonus boss, basically.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah. But with that, there's a spell card called Standing Right Behind You, which I felt was thematically appropriate.
A couple of my MSUs that I have, namely the one I recently put an update for which is the classic Gradius pack. Its track is of the start of Gradius 2's that's 2 swords, by the way. Nice. It's the start of the boss rush in Gradius 2, so it starts with a Zub rush, so it has aircraft carrier, and then on the original version, it's just it has the destroy them all voice clip.
Nice.
So it subtract in or sub-channeled in. So
Nice.
yeah, but bringing it back to the race though, we did see there was 2 swords in the mini Boulder Cave.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, there's our little bomb refill hut right there, which is nice. And it was just 10 arrows over at Waterfall Ferry, so I believe we have Uncle on the pyramid today. I believe we've seen everything else. It's either Uncle or Magic Bad, and I believe Magic Bad was over on Useless Ferry. So.
Yeah. Because we did see Useless Fairy, and that does mean that a 2-item cave. There is an item drop down that is still standing.
Zelga saw the bottom of Spectacle Rock Cave. I assume he's going to exit out of here because that's an item in there. But you can also do a little bit of fun sequence breaking with it. Very nice location for the Smith today. Just a couple screens down. Oh, Zelga found the shovel somewhere.
I believe that may have been during something. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I felt kind of bad for Zelga watching his Therm Cave where he went to go for Burna, and he was using... and he saw the full magic, but he wasn't able to collect it in time.
It was Escape, according to our one tracker, Lady Lauren Linda.
Ah, okay, thank you. So they both have it, yeah. So, I kind of expect Zelga will probably do the Spectacle Rock Bomb Jump. You occasionally see this in open as a way of like kind of getting back out to the top of the mountain without having to drop down and walk through. Yeah, here we go. So this is a trick that is not in logic. It involves you kind of like using the rail to kind of boost yourself over to the side. But it does get you into spots where you wouldn't normally be able to logically access for a very long time.
Yeah, it's a very integral bomb jump when it comes to cross keys when checking connectors.
Zelga is showing some fun that if you drop as a Super Bunny through a hole, you can still swing your sword.
Yeah, and it only goes away once you get hit.
Regardless, we got sent out on on this east side of Death Mountain, and promptly found the connector. Yeah, no. Plumeria Knight opted to just collect the item, but is not going to check the connector. That this is leading to Hype Cave is not a good thing, but we'll see what's in here. Uh, 100 rupees and a couple maps.
Maps and compasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really didn't yield anything of value other than seeing Zelka-san doing some chest turns. Just turns.
And of course, we have found the tradition for Crosskeys, finding Mimic Cave without the sword, without the hammer to be able to do Mimic Cave. And Zelda's going to go follow the Race Game Brothers connector. Oh.
Yeah. Welcome to Crosskeys, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, don't hate that. One, that's one less boots check, and two, we have Zelga wasn't in a good spot ever to come back to this location. So you hate it, but you'll deal with it. Plumeria Knight, on the other hand, has fluted over to Eastern area, so we'll be getting mids pretty shortly. And Zelda will be discovering that Ganon is at the graveyard today. Yeah, so it was magic bad at the Waterfall Fairy. The useless fairy drop. And it's mitts for Plumeria Knight. Zelga opts to do the rare Light World current jump because he does not have a flute.
I did not know you can current jump there. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's the same principle. All you're doing is just doing a bomb. I mean, a current jump is nothing more than a bomb-assisted fake flipper.
Well, yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's not something you normally see now, because there's usually better ways of getting there.
Exactly, yeah. Like, for example, just walking down the screen.
Yeah. So right now, we kind of have East Death Mountain. We haven't seen any of West Death Mountain, which is accessible to Plumeria Knight. We haven't seen the Lake or South Shore, which is what Zelda looks like he'll be doing now. Well, there's the 20 rupee cave guy.
And just a map's just situated on the Hylia Islands, so not really necessary.
And now Plumeria Knight's, yeah, you know what, Ice Rod Cave area. Take good advantage of that flute. Normally one of the... Sorry.
No, you go.
Okay, I was going to say, normally one of the worst locations to get to in Crosskeys, but really the only place worse is the Dark World equivalent because you can't flute there. But...
Right, because in general, Dark Shopping Mall is way out of the way, just... no matter how much you slice it. But yeah, taking advantage of that flute as much as possible because Zelga will not be at Eastern Palace for long because he did Zelga DEP.
Plumeria Knight has opted to go pick up the Bugnet. I'm sure somewhere Gamma is smiling. And yeah, unfortunately, not too much there, just a checkerboard cave. That old lady connector did actually spit us out on Desert Palace Raid, which was our dam. So Zelda opted to use that to go check Agina's cave and then check what would be the 50 rupee cave. Which is just Graveyard Ledge giving us I believe that is our first key to Palace of Darkness. Gotta get them all. Fortunately, Earlman's saving quit point was found that it's not particularly good today either.
Well, that is a Moon Pearl.
Was that a Moon Pearl on the ledge?
Yes.
Oh, God. So, our question now is, where is our mirror?
Where's... well, two questions. First, where's our mirror? Second of all, where is there a way? Is there a entrance that we can check that can take us there?
I mean, we have both gloves. We can get to either of the entrances up on the ledge.
Right.
We haven't checked any of our Hyrule Castle exits yet. So that is a thing. But honestly, I'm kind of scared with both Flute and Mitts that we're just mirroring to get that Moon Pearl. Or hear me out. You're completely right, and I was wrong.
Yep. Well, it was one of the. It had to be one of those two. So there's Dark World access.
Yeah. So Plumeri and I will probably check this entrance and then immediately Flute over down to the rocks right after this.
Yeah. I figured that was gonna be the case. Like, what it was either gonna be like, either you find a mirror or you find an entrance to get there.
Yeah. So Zelda has his Moon Pearl. We'll be missing Flute for a while. Right now, the Flute isn't really doing anything for us logically other than getting us to the top of West Death Mountain. But we'll kind of see, because Zelda's going to go check the Dark World now.
Yeah, at this point you go into the Dark World because you have a lot more stuff to do now.
Yeah. It's just going to be painful if somehow the Moon Pearl is if the Eastern Palace Big Key our bows are locked by that Flute somehow. Yeah. Using Quake because it has a slightly faster kill animation.
Yeah, it also just makes it so that these gold guards just turn them into slimes, so it's just one-shot kill.
Oh. All we had that's our second bot key. Now noticeably for 100% locations, the pod keys that we are kind of used to seeing logging themselves, like Harmless Hellway or the Big Key Chest, they won't be there today. Oh, wow, this is convenient.
Yeah, that's Dark Shopping Mall accessible. We don't have to do a long flipper route to get there.
The flipper route actually, so the flipper route you kind of want to use is to trying to do that fake flipper up by the Witch's Hut in the Dark World, and then you can kind of go through the whirlpool. And if you do this right, you get invincibility iframes, and it's usually 90% of the time long enough to get you to the dock and get out without having to worry.
Right. And we did see Total Mario from Zelda that was in the Dark Shopping Mall.
Yeah. We have found Misery Mire over in Thieves Town entrance.
What is this, simple?
Yeah, Hyrule Castle's interesting today. Those other two connectors are not going to be easy for Plumeri and I to kind of find without going through Hyrule Castle. But they also don't really lead to anything important. So I guess there's something good at least. We have found the back of Desert Palace, so we can fight. See, this is kind of like what you do, but in reverse.
Right.
Now, noticeably, this isn't in logic. We don't have a way yet to get to this area of the Dark World. Either we need a hammer, flippers, or 2 castle tower keys, or a connector.
So over on Plumeria Knight's side, we did see Ice Rock Cave situated in the Arrow game, and that Ice Rock Cave gave us a pod pick. That's a out of logic Turtle Rock small on Catfish.
Fortunately, we haven't found Laser Bridge, and there's not much more we can really do with Turtle Rock for a while. You know, a bottle blue, you'll take that.
And I believe those almost, I think, either max 6 or near max 6.
Yeah, that was... I stopped counting after 20. But with Mary Knight, looks like they're going to go do a Smith Rescue along with this. Having played a Crosskeys seed recently where the Smith was my bow and my mirror was on the chest, I completely understand this play. It's painful otherwise.
Right. Oh, the part of me really feels like probably kind of wishes that we had mirror, so that makes it a lot more easier to get.
Yeah.
Because all you would have to go is just further down that screen, and then just mirror.
Yeah.
It's all the same super tile.
Yeah. So we are gonna take a quick look into Skullwoods. It is a good layout of Skullwoods. For those unfamiliar with Crosskeys, the entrances to Skullwoods and drop-downs are all shuffled within each other. Unfortunately, this can lead to layouts where both the front and middle are the two connecting sides, and you can't get to the rear side without having to do drop-downs and possibly getting stuck in that region.
Yeah, it's why I like to personally refer to it as the drop-down game, because if that scenario happens, you're basically playing a game where you have to find the drop-down that leads you to it and hope that you can get back.
Yeah. Swamp Palace is Tower of Hero, and we just got a boomerang out of it. And I believe that was a small key to Ice Palace. No, a Mire Small, which is nice for routing. Logically, you need 3 to kind of get to the left side of the dungeon, but when you hit 1, you can kind of check everything in a pretty nice manner. And that's our dam.
And it's a Hera big. Not too important in a post Herapod world, but we'll take in because we haven't seen Hera yet.
No, we have seen Hera. Hera's at Swamp Palace. That's great for Zelda.
Oh, I must have. I missed it then.
Yeah. And here we are grabbing our guaranteed small key out of the pinball room. Yeah.
Entrance logic puts it there because I think it's part. Entrance logic was made in a very old version of the logic before V31 made the small key not guaranteed in that spot in normal play.
It's a combination of two things. That is true. The other reason that it's stuck there is because drop-downs are randomized, and so at least with like V31, there's an argument to be made that like, oh, you know which hole you're dropping down. You should know. You know, you have the information to base that off of your small keys. So there is an argument to be made that like that's completely the right. You can do that for non-entrance random, but for entrance random where you don't know where your drop downs are and you could get soft locked anyway, being completely unable to get stuck in there is probably the right call. But yeah. Well, that's nice. That's Samaria and Spiral Cave. No, good. Plumerianite was going to go save and quit, and then realized that they had another connector they could go chase because Bomb. They literally took Spiral Cave one screen to the left. Sometimes this Crosskeys is funny.
It's another Turtle Rock entrance.
Yeah. Now, yeah, Plumeria would like to be right now saving the old man. A little less valuable now that where both of the ends of his save and quit are. But it is still an item and is still in logic. But you can't save the old man with the Smith falling.
Yeah, because the game is set up so that you can only have one follower at a time, and if you try to pick up another follower, then it either gets overridden, or if you find a follower out in the world, they'll just tell you to get rid of that follower.
Yeah, or my favorite is technically the crystal that you pick up from a dungeon counts as a follower because it's the maiden, and the game puts you in follower so it won't delete the Smith if you complete a crystal dungeon. It does not do that for a pendant dungeon.
Yeah. The last time I actually saw that was, in fact, when I think it was like the last one. I think it was like yesterday, I believe, where one of the runners ended up carrying the purple chest to the front of Thieves Town, and then did Thieves Town in its entirety, which also gets rid of rid of the follower.
I took a Smith through the entirety of Ganon's tower because he was there and Ganon's tower was right next to him in the archery game, and I didn't have a mirror, so he can go a very, very long way. We are getting a look at the mountain today. It looks like our capacity fairy is sitting where the old man normally is sitting. Now, interestingly, with that connector from the Fairy Ascension connector, which would be kind of like you don't normally you do see it sometimes in open. That's the connector that people use to save the portal for Turtle Rock. That's what that's connected to for Turtle Rock Laser Bridge. Kind of actually came into play almost with one of the main tournament finals the other day, Flynn and Lynn versus Schultzer. Then that might have been a thing that would have come up. Both former Crosskeys tournament champions, by the way. But that connector there means that flute only really is going to get us into the mire area because it was connected to the top of Spectacle Rock. So anything up here on the side of the mountain is for Zelda, so him missing it is growing less important as time has gone by. I say as we discover the hookshot.
Jeez, this what's if you just call in something out and then we get a hookshot right there or something item or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Zelka will be able to get the hookshot.
Oh yeah.
So that's nice for him. That was the start of the Old Man Cave, Rescue Cave. Located conveniently up and to the right, one screen entrance.
So we're seeing Zelka go through Hera here.
Yeah. Here we go. Paradox Cave on Plumeria that side. It'd be really nice if one of these connectors is bumper ledge for Plumeria Knight, so that way they can kind of go up to the North Dark World, get that bow, and get that second sword. And the Herod Big Key.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big keys, there is a Turtle Rock Bigs in this Paradox.
And we did find the Turtle Rock Big Chest entrance. That was Dark Sanctuary. So that's that, and Laser Bridge. You could actually get yourself down to Laser Bridge. Laser Bridge is out of logic without a couple more Turtle Rock small keys right now, but you can get there. Ooh.
Oh, well,
That was a mirror.
Mirror in Paradox, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that is about you. Okay. That's the mirror is one of the most important items you Crosskey. Because mirror entrances are some of the worst to get to in Crosskeys. If you don't have a mirror the first time you go through the Dark World. And Plumeria Knight's kind of done some, but also hasn't done a ton up in the North Dark World where they know a lot of those entrances are. So they'll be able to knock some of them out, especially considering that if Plumeria Knight remembers, he goes back upstairs through goes back upstairs. That was the Turtle Rock Bridge, and that's two of the more harder entrances to get to in the game.
Right. And we are now seeing those right now.
Yeah.
So here's Mimic Cave entrance. Nothing. So this mirror is I think more of a cause for concern, mostly because of the fact that I believe I didn't see the where one of the paradox entrances led to, but it was but
It's up on the mountain.
Okay, so that would mean that so if that means if it only means that in my eyes, I think that flute still having more credence because Plumeria went up there with that flute.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, but what's going to be nice here is Plumeria Knight has the mirror now. Actually gets to check the knockout the late world side of Bumper Ledge, which is a hard entrance to get to, and is going to get check a couple things here. Ice Palace here is going to be spicy.
Yeah. So that does bring some interesting ideas for Plumeria because that you could well, if we had hammer we could clear it, but
yeah, but there's a shocking 3 or 4 chests in logic right in that dungeon because we have the hook shot, so we can't get to the right side.
Yeah. Combined with Icebreaker, that gives you another one.
Yeah.
I think.
Now, Zelga has to be really, really careful here. Fortunately, that is the connector that leads to Paradox Gate, and that's the only way to get there because the other 2 entrances are dead ends. Oh no. Zelga is about to say goodbye to his Smith friend. He's trading the little old man for a slightly.
I don't think that. I think even then, I think the I think that check, the Swift check didn't yield anything.
It was a small key to something, and I don't remember what, but it wasn't important.
Yeah. So, if anything, if once they get that small key, it probably wouldn't matter a whole lot. So, here's that hook shot coming out.
Yeah.
Now, it may. I think the only reason why Zelga would ever go to Eastern at that point is really just for that legit big key.
Yeah. Right now, for Zelga's sake, the Meyer area better not have the Eastern Palace big key. Because that could be really bad for him. Right now, this hasn't really hurt him other than like some lack of mobility. That's our 4th sword that we found today.
4 swords at just over 50 minutes. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice that Plumeria Knight has that float. In retrospect, it's really just more of a fast travel thing. It hasn't really yielded anything that would absolutely necessarily need that float.
Yeah. Really, what's going to be nicer for Plumeria Knight is like getting to do this region with the mirror, and not having to wait around, not having to double back for it. Because if there's anything mirror lock, Zelga's going to be last locating the mirror, it looks like now, because he's opted to not go for that dark cave, and is going to go try to chase some entrances up on the dark side of Death Mountain instead. And his only way to get here right now is to, unlike Plumeria, who could flute up to them, his only way to kind of like get up here is to go down to the Dark Lake Hylia shop, and he only has its Dark World access, so he basically has to walk around half the world.
So there's Swamp. Not really anything you can do there other than just see it, and even if you had the flippers, you only have one check there.
Yeah. Well, we did find the name over at Hype Cave a long time ago, so we're finding out what the field was, and it's a vanilla piece of art. Where's Plumeria Knight could have had? Just going back into Castle Tower because we found the small key somewhere and is going to go get all the items. Perfectly fine.
Nothing of note here in this second Castle Tower chest.
Gonna go back in the Dark World. Can dip Meyer now. We'll see if they opt to. Because right now, like, we actually don't have a way over to... We still don't have a way over to East Dark World. We've chased our Hyrule Castle entrances. We've chased our Desert Palace entrances. Actually, I wonder, and I'm going to have to pull up Zelga's screen for a second. I'm just curious to see if maybe our Desert Palace... one of our Desert Palace connectors actually takes us over to Dark Shopping, to the Dark Witch's Potion Hut. The one that I missed. Because I noticed that he skipped that entrance while going up to Catfish.
I think he may have spotted it, and we don't remember what it was. Oh, that's a hammer. Locked behind flippers. On Hobo.
It isn't. So, in fact, I just pulled up Zelga's personal map tracker. So the western side of Desert Palace is actually the Dark Witch's Potion Hut. So we do actually have access to that side of the Dark World, just through connectors.
Yes, that was in fact logical. That
Yeah.
that Catfish.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that, but I couldn't. I didn't remember.
Yeah.
Well, there's Kingstone. Do anything though, but it's there.
Oh, they screwed up the block push and have to reset the tiles. So Zelga's gonna go through Desert Palace, it looks like. Oh no. This is Bumper Cave. Interesting, we still haven't held Ganon's tower yet, and we're kind of starting to run low on locations.
Yeah, but we do. We are going to take a look at this. Unless we already saw pod side, but I think this is the first time we're seeing pod area, so we might take a look at this now. Or we're going to take a look at this now and see what this yields.
Yeah. Left Side Mire unfortunately had nothing today. It'll be interesting to see if Zelda opts to walk this out to get to the Pyramid Ledge item, because that's kind of a far way away. But it is... He's starting to run low on stuff, and it is a... freestanding item. That was our library, and unfortunately all it was just armor. We've got Blue Meal. Zelda doesn't have a mirror, and especially is not looking to make his death warping any harder than it could be. And I don't think the Mariel picking up on it. Well, here is the back of pendant of Crystal Skull Woods. Fortunately, it did not look like there was anything in Misery Limit today. Which is starting to bear the question, where the heck are our flippers? Zelda doing a very nice sequence break you don't see any time in open. This is kind of a Crosskeys or Engines Randall special. Bomb jumping and using the lamp to get all these torches lit. I think he's going to have to do this again because he's getting kind of bodied by all these Gyptos. Just made it in time. But you can use that in lieu of a fire rod. Mathiel's gotta die. You really can't make this any easier with Tempered Sword.
Yeah, very well played from Zelga. That's one of the fastest Mathios you can possibly have.
And Polarian Knight is doing Skullwoods the actual Skullwoods portion of Skullwoods now. Zelda wasn't going to walk to Pyramid Ledge. I think the fact that Skullwoods here has kind of solidified the fact. Oh boy.
Alright, so let's see what Zelda will do here. Will this probably be the... Okay, just want to make sure.
I could tell you exactly what Zelda's going to do here. Mr. Meyer big has a hook shot at the Cane of Samaria and a tempered sword.
Yeah, that makes sense. Clear it out now.
Yeah. Beating Vitreous isn't logic.
Yeah.
Flamarian, actually going to do a pedestal read. I was going to say, can check this, but you know what? You're here. You got the book, you got the mirror.
Yeah, you might as well get this while you're here. And it's boring.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on.
Yeah, well, we'll see 2 more items out of Meyer today from Zelda. It is, in fact, a crystal. So this is another thing that he has to do. So won't feel too bad about it at the end of the day. Plumeria Knight is heading for... I did not... Oh no, the front of Turtle Rock, I apologize. So far we have Crystal Turtle Rock, Crystal Mire, and Crystal Skullwoods. We still got 4 more to figure out. You can't do the other ones, yeah. Florian, I realize they don't have the fire rod to grab the other 2 checks on Turtle Rock. I think Zelda having some issues with the flip blocks as well. Marion Knight's going to go check Lava Chest and the Jane Jobs chest on Turtle Rock. Actually, they checked the Jane Jobs chest. They did not opt to check Lava Chest when he came by the first time. Yeah. And for something that we've been able to do for about 15 minutes, like 15 minutes into the seed, 45 minutes later, both of our runners are Plumeria Knight, sorry, is going to go check the Mr. Meyer region.
Yeah, at this point, after doing a lot of the checks, now's a good time to do it. It looks like that was Ether, just by judging by the turnaround.
Yep, vanilla Ether.
And we get Big Bomb as Thieves in Desert.
That's actually really nice to know, considering that we know 3 other crystals and they're not the red one. So...
So here's a bit chest check from Zelga. This is a Skullwood spawn.
Logically, we need all 3 of those to beat the seed. Red has already killed Rothula.
Yeah, we don't really care about that, really. So we'll just keep going. But
Yeah. We found the other side of Super Bunny Cave. Boy.
Oh wow.
And here's Palace of Darkness. Now, with only two small keys, really only the 5 checks are in logic because we have a bow. But Plumeria Knight's probably going to go towards the back and at least pick up some of the... Probably could get another 6 items out of this, actually. Oh, no. No. Plumeria Knight is going to go do a key to the right side of Palace of Darkness several times in order to save a key. Actually, they can't save a key. Never. I'm sorry. They don't have a they don't have a hammer. I apologize. They're just doing this now because they can't do this otherwise. Though they may be setting up for a key save scum instead. And while we have 100 locations reachable on this seed, some things like pod keys and pod that aren't in Harmless Hoy or the pod key chest, and still will happen because the randomizer loves us all.
Yeah, it's still is considered a check that you can still get available and it's not key locked by itself.
Yeah. So what's big keys nice?
So that's a crystal on the board for Zelga.
Yeah. Now, the Mary Knight needs to find flippers sooner or later. They haven't gone up to Hobo. They really haven't had a reason to Hobo because they've got a lot of stuff in Logic, quite frankly. They could be potentially single dipping pod, but they'll probably be coming back here at some. It looks like our chess game has gotten a slightly, or has improved his defenses slightly. Moving to the shop in Village of Outcasts. Okay. So that's logically our 5th pod, at least our 5th pod small.
That's really cute, by the way. That's just two pod smalls in pod.
Yeah, you know, sometimes the randomizer works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, we might know everything about the logic, but in situations like that, it's like, okay, why? Why did they put those there?
And here comes Flurry Knight setting for the Hammer Yump.
Another integral part of the Crosskeys, yeah.
Honestly, going to leave the pod big key chest alone for a little while, but you know what? Yeah, it's Pendant Ice Palace. The Smith's going to be seeing places.
We'll see Ice Palace here from Zelga, and once again carrying that frog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I was gonna say it feels. I was about to say as he walked in, probably an Ice Palace at this point, and then He proves he shows that the flippers are in fact an ice ballast.
Yeah, and this is actually a good time to do it here because of the fact that we have a hammer, so we can complete this dungeon.
Yeah.
Not necessary, yes, but because it's a pendant, but well, we can clear it.
That does mean the fact that we are logically required to double ice ballast today if there's anything really deep in this dungeon. But it's kind of gross, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
However, that being said, so far, flippers haven't really led to anything other than you can get to the hammer without. Sorry, you can get to the hammer without having the flippers.
So, I think Zelga here will... I don't know if Zelga will want to kill Corsair here.
I mean, he can.
He could, yes.
Arguably, you're just leaving... I think you just do because you just don't want to leave it. You'll die by the big chest. And, so here's Plumeria Knight opting to go do a little bit of fake flippering, and we'll probably go up and check Mr. Hobo and be rewarded handsomely with a hammer.
So here's this clear coming up for Zelga. Once again, with this frog. Yeah, you can carry this further, and I really need to ask him why he keeps carrying the frog over in the booth.
He wants to turn it in eventually.
Yeah, but he's been carrying it with him for a good while.
Well, he only has mid-Starkbolt access. He's trying to make the most of this. So Plumeria Knight looks like they're going to go check the Skullman's big chest. Zelga collects 1/3 of his way to getting a piece of heart that he doesn't know about yet. But it looked like there was a Turtle Rock small. We never saw the other side of Turtle Rock Laser Bridge. Plumeria Knight should have enough keys, so it won't really matter too much. But really, the main thing in there were the flippers.
All right. I think this is now is time we turn the Smith now.
Yeah.
And without the mirror, and as much as that spot is nice, just no mirror showed up in this entire in the path for Zelga. So here it is.
Plumeria Knight is opting not to go to. Yeah, okay, so it's easy small. So whenever we need whenever we have like Fire Rod and Uncle drop down, that was a logically required small key, but not an actually required one. But Plumeria Knight has opted not to go into Ice Palace, opting to go for the purple chest and probably go down and take care of Tower of Hera, which is completely fine. But it's going to be missing flippers for a little while. Has also has 2 more entrances to check as well. The left side of race game, which is actually a really hard entrance to remember that you have to check sometimes, and K45. Also, the item on race game, which was a small key, and see what it is too.
Yeah. So what the small key is leading to desert.
You know what? You'll take that.
Yeah, it's 2 items that you can get on the right side. Well, okay, there's Hookshot Cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zelga probably gonna exit out of this region with it. Yes.
Yeah, I think because I think the intent here is just get Zora and then run back, because that's also a big key too. It's a good reason to actually check it that way.
Watch this be like the Ice Palace big key on the purple chest. Or better yet, the Ice Palace big key on the ledge.
Yeah, that would be kind of amusing. But Zelga does want a shield here, which is gonna be a hard no from Zelga. So, oh hey, Ice Pick.
There we go.
Funny.
There we go.
You did call it and say that it probably would have. It's either that or Ice Palace big. So,
Look, you had to leave Ice Palace just to go pick up the hammer and the Ice Palace big chest. The big key.
So now that means that's still limit. That is limit on your mind now. So,
yeah.
Which is never all that good. But hey, well,
Yeah.
We'll take it, I guess. Emphasis on I guess.
Let's do with an Hookshot Cave today.
That GT pig is neat, I guess.
I mean, I still haven't actually found GT.
Yeah, it hasn't been found it, and there's either that's our medallion collection all ready to go. We're seeing some Trinkara set up here from Preliminary Nights.
Yeah.
A very old Harapot setup. That's the one I used before I adopted Philly Pot, and then eventually Lord Raiden Pot, and then superseded by Bread Pot.
Yeah, I never could get any of the. I could never get right. Like the original Harapot setup right. So then I just kind of went and did. I always just did spin speed pots instead, because I got the knack for that down. And then I did bread pot, and now I can't stop doing bread pot.
Yeah, bread pot's cool. I love using bread pot.
It's brain dead.
Yeah, it is basically endgame for non-spin speed Harappots.
Yeah, that is our first Preliminary Night's first crystal, I believe. First. Actually, no, that was our other pendant. Oh, so we actually know all of our crystal and pendants.
Yeah, we got pendant crystal knowledge from here, so that's Preliminary Night just leaving.
Yeah. Fun fact, spikes still deal 1 heart of damage even if you're on blue mail.
Yeah, it's considered an environmental damage, so it isn't affected by armor.
Yeah. So this is good for Plumerianite. This is going to get them over to what will be... They're going to check Desert, and I think they're going to probably go outside the other side of Desert Palace Connector as well. Oh, good. Good. There it is. There's our 5th pod small key. And then we'll find themselves over by Catfish and then probably do some stuff over in there. So yeah, is going to go kill some Unix.
Yeah, this is still something that is outstanding, and we did see this earlier. So it's only at 300 though.
Yeah, so he's probably going to head over and probably get it. Oh, actually, he could do check some of Swamp Palace now. So he may be doing that. Because like right now he will need to have to go through that one connector that gets him over to the Proto Rock Bridge, because we now know pods pods are crystal and pods are mirror locked. That's our only way to get the mirror.
Yeah, so this will be a very late mirror coming up for Zilga.
Yeah.
And Plumerianite will now be on the way to getting this Zora and this Ice Paws Big Key.
Yeah. And I'm sure Zelda just is rolling his eyes as he walks through into Paradox Cave and like, ah, man.
Yeah, it's not pleasant, but here we are now. Of course, we know that we're still, in Zelka's case, we're probably hoping to see an Eastern Palace Big come up his way, because that flute is sitting there, and because Plumerianite went into Eastern Palace, got that flute. Zelga did his typical play where he leaves out Eastern Palace until he gets a big key, aka the Zelga DEP. And that flute has been still sitting there. Granted, it hasn't really, so far, hasn't really been too naughty, or I guess, no. I think the only thing of note is like Meyer is still, like Meyer area, that's the only thing that hate out.
Yeah. Plumerianite is trying to get the hardest splash station. I can't say I'm familiar with the setups that they're using. I know you can use other Ancilla versions of this. I'm just not familiar with that setup. I'm more used to trying to use bow and arrow, a bow and bomb.
Yeah, I never really can get the Samaria red boomerang method. I just more stuck to the arrows, bombs, because it's more, because you have plenty of them available to you.
So Plumerianite's gonna go beat these down.
Yeah, but the intel that we got, that being Pen of Crystal Knowledge, I'm on a on Preliminary Knight's side, at least from what we know. And the fact that we have a Thieves Town Big, which I don't know, I forget where that went, what that was. It makes sense to go and clear this now.
Yeah.
Thieves Town Big in Desert Palace. Okay.
Yeah, it was the Desert Palace right side checks.
Oh. Okay, so that means Zilk would have to get that Desert Palace small, which then leads
off a race game.
Off a race game, yeah. Which now that he has the mirror, that's on in the cards.
That's on the clock for him. He's going to get to that because he's got mirror. He's going to start chasing the mirror now. So that just heads south from CAC. There it is. It finally should.
And this should be along the path for Zelga as well. So because that means he'll get the Desert Palace small, and then he'll get Thieves Town Big, and then that would lead to, and that then leads to Eastern Palace Big, and that does put him right where the flute's at.
Yeah. So realistically now, what are we kind of missing from good? We're missing both our river routes.
Both rods, Desert Big, rather.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that has to be it. Not the big hit that we were looking for, but it is Swamp Big.
Yeah, but I kind of expect Plumeria will take a dip into Eastern Palace after this. Still has some entrances that you haven't checked that are on top of Hyrule Castle that they can get to the pot area as well. Kind of hard for them to get to that without a hammer right now, and that hammer is not in a great spot.
Yeah, it really, the advantage that Zelka really has is with that hammer and subsequently the flute. Or flippers, not flute.
Yeah, but right now, the only thing flippers have... Ah, okay. Well, that is interesting. I did not actually see that from...
It was nice, Rod.
I swear sometimes this randomizer... So Plumeria and I died on Laser Bridge and did not exit out to find that they would have been stuck on the Pyramid Crack, which was probably intentional to go check the other entrances.
Yeah, in Zelka's case, he has mirrors, so that means he can check the top of the castle.
Yeah.
So far, nothing of note. As Preliminary Knight will knock back and head back eastern to get the clear done.
Yeah. Preliminary Knight heading for their second crystal.
And then that top of castle led to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, realistically, like, I don't think we've seen Myers yet, and I'm thinking we haven't seen either of the fairies. So there's still some good item caves out there. There's still a lot of value from checking entrances, especially with Ganon's Tower being one of them.
Yeah, the big treasure trove of items that is Thieves, that is GT, that is still outstanding.
Yeah, and we're running out of a lot of locations to be quite frank. Like, we just have like Hammer Pegs, Meyer, TR entrance, and then back of Skullwoods and GT itself, I think. And the bonk checks, I guess.
Yeah,
This is kind of like the start of the point of the seed where everybody's going to start pushing it into a little bit of a hierarchy here. For a Crosskeys seed.
So I think at this point too, Zelga's actually on the path to try and get this desert small, which then will lead to everything he would really want, honestly. And meanwhile, Plumeria does get the second crystal down, so that's another crystal lined up.
Let's see where Plumeria opts to go. Heading for the mountain. Have not checked Tower of Fair entrance, I believe.
This is now accessible because of Mirror. Collectively, we're now Go -2, Fire Rod and Desert Big still outstanding.
So here's one of the entrances we haven't seen yet.
Hammer Pigs. There's a Thieves Small. Oh, that is something that Plumeria clearly did not want to see, judging by the slashes.
Well, I mean, they don't have the hammer, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, that's an annoyance. Well, Zelga is going to... Yeah, he's going to go check Turtle Rock entrance now. He'll follow Hookshot. Was this a reverse Hookshot cave? Because we came out on the floating island side?
I think so.
Yeah. Plumeria Knight is going to go discover Swamp Palace in just a second. Probably going to be a little relief that they don't have flippers. Repeat.
So here's Plumeria Knight heading through the Hyle Castle again to check the entrances.
Yeah. We'll be happy that they can get this. We'll be less happy when they discover that it leads to nothing.
Yeah. It's there, even if it didn't change anything.
Yeah. It's a square of entrances that thought you'd be able to... You might not be able to skip, but you're able to get there. It's not too bad. It's going to... Alright. Time to do Dark World Fake Flipper Part 2. This is probably to go check Pod and top of Castle.
This is the Turtlerock Engines check. It is vanilla, so both times vanilla, so funny.
Yeah, Plumeria Knight unfortunately got hit, but thankfully got hit on the same screen that they did the transition on. So did not get stuck waiting for Link to get loaded back into his proper position.
Plus also having the controls locked because of the protection that against having a hard lock happen when you move anywhere on the screen when you move anywhere.
Yeah.
Because of a broken transition that just gets never resolved.
Yeah. So got a little unlucky, but thankfully it didn't hurt them too bad. Oh boy, here we go. Are we ready for vanilla Swamp Palace small key?
If that's it, then I have no idea how I'm gonna feel.
Oh,
that's
horrible.
That is not a pleasant spot for that fire rod.
No, it's not.
So collectively, we're going as one. Just need Desert Big.
Yeah. And of course, this means that I don't know right side GT. We'll have the Swamp Palace small key for. I can't make. I'm not. I can't do this.
But if that fire leads to GT and Skull was back, I don't know. Like
yeah, with the Skull with the Swamp Palace small key, the Desert Palace big key. On Green Pendant turn. I don't know, man.
Oh, if that's that would be the most the worst case scenario. If I want to be honest, I think the best case scenario is just finding GT because you have a whole bunch of items there. But we'll see Zelda going through Turtle Rock again just to get Tridex done, and then we'll have Laser Roller Room after this too.
Yeah.
So this, which is a more reasonable, which is more sensible here. Do you have a crystal clear that you can do?
Yeah. So that is in fact Flipper's lock. So that is something Plumeria will have to at least get it to ice, and then we'll see how far into ice they decide to go.
With this being a pendant, though, that might be something of concern. Although I don't know if Plumeria has yet to go back into ice.
They haven't even. They walked in and they walked out.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as we're concerned, Plumeria doesn't know what the prize is. Yeah. So this isn't pleasant for Plumeria, despite the knowledge of the flute.
Yeah, well, the good thing for Plumeria is that, once they're kind of done here, I think they really only have left going into ice. That's kind of their last location, and they'll find the flippers, and then they have two choices to chase the flippers. Either they're going to go chase. They know there's a big key on Sword Ledge, so they might chase that, thinking it's the Desert Big, and they'll be mistaken. Or conversely, they go chase Swamp Palace and look at the Fire Rod. Or they can chase Hobo. They have options, and at least two of those options are good progress. Also, I just realized, that means that technically Bombos was locking our Fire Rod today.
Yeah, so if you're a believer of the rule of fire, then there you go. You can eat good today.
You know, interestingly, we did have a small key that was sitting on the Desert Palace torch years ago at this point. So that's either our Hyrule. I think that's either our Hyrule Castle. It has to be like our Hyrule Castle small, the last pod key.
Up there's those are big.
Okay, so Zelga's still not in good. Find pod. To find pod, they need to find.
Yeah, and we don't, and that won't come up for Zelga until goes into Thieves Town. Or it's not even Thieves Town, going to Desert, which then leads to Thieves Big. Then that leads to Eastern Big. That's go mode for us. Is no mode.
Yeah, we're in no mode. Lemuria is going to have to go dip Swamp Palace to get a Fire Rod. Dip Ice Palace to get the flippers and go to Hobo. And then I forget exactly. They have the Meyer Big, so they can beat Meyer at it. So, fortunately, both of our runners have 2 or 3 more steps to victory. But I think Zelga's kind of got a clearer path, because everything on him is going to be quicker, easier spots to get to.
So here's the Desert Bag for Zelga with that Desert Palace Big Key. So that's a clear for us, yes. But well, Zelga has to go through the main desert main, the main area of desert, that is, to get that Thieves Town's big.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, Zelga just needs to go into Desert Palace at some point, and hopefully we'll not find GT. That could sidetrack him for a little bit, because GT's a lot more attractive than Desert Palace, even if it is quick checks. It's only 2 versus 20.
Yeah, if you're looking, if Zelga's worst case scenario is that GT, if he were to find it, but I don't feel like it. I don't know if we're gonna be seeing GT in him soon.
I honestly think GT is vanilla today, which is Crosskeys. You know, it's not vanilla until it is.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. We haven't really seen any. The only thing we haven't seen is GT, and I think it probably is vanilla, just with you. Yeah, if it was Pyramid Fairy, which we knew that was a connector,
Yeah.
That would have been interesting, but
Yeah, no. Somebody in the Summon chat was suggesting that Pyramid Fairy was GT. Pyramid Fairy is actually Turtle Rock Laser Bridge entrance.
Yeah, it's just a connector. So.
Plumeria gotta go beat up a bunch of eyes. Zelda is heading straight for going to go mode. Because this is the one possible off-ramp we can see.
Yeah, so this will give him the desert, this will give him the Thieves Town Big here, and then this will eventually lead him over to Eastern Big, which will put him into go mode. We'll go mode and then get the flutes.
Then you'll be like, I could have had this ages ago. And then we'll just vote Cellular 1P in the chat.
Yeah, and this is just the case where Zugga DEP really comes back to hurt him, but not as severe because of the fact that this would be go mode for him. He probably wouldn't feel. He feels really bad though if that though.
Yeah, he'll feel bad, but really, it's only just blocking Helmasaur today, and only Helmasaur. Uh-oh.
Cold Stare kill. What?
He killed Cold Stare. He's gone back for big...
Well, yeah, big chance. That's what I meant, not the Cold Stare kill.
That is Meyer down for tonight. That is their 4th crystal. But still needs to get the flippers out of Ice Palace and get the hammer off of Hobo and the Fire Rod out of the front of TR and Desert Palace Big Key out of TR as well. Sorry, the Fire Rod out of the front of Swamp. My apologies. Headed back to the Maya region, and I'm not sure. Oh, they're going into pod to check the big key chest,
And I think this also is a Pelma kill.
They don't have a hammer for the Pelma kill.
Oh, right. I completely missed that. Because the hammer is all the way in a bad spot. It was in a bad spot.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a good chance to go for it when they went and did the fake flipper inject, like the Ice Palace and Waterfall. Sorry, the whatever Capacity Fairy Island, and they opted to just kind of leave from there instead of going up and pushing Hobo. Here comes Zelda heading for Northeast down, and there's a mushroom.
Oh, this is actually bad for Boomeria.
Well,
it's out of the way, yes.
Is actually going to try to do a bit of mushroom fake powder shenanigans with the mushroom.
Not a bad call.
Yeah, at this stage of the seed.
Yeah, it makes sense just because you have the mushroom turn. You have the magic bat was set up in useless fairy, and then afterwards you could just flute back across, so that way you can get the mushroom turn in.
Yeah, realistically, the only thing that this is actually going to be really kind of area is that they had to empty their magic and they need to go into ice. But I think they have a blue potion.
Yeah, they have a blue potion still.
They'll have the magic. They'll be able to get their magic back.
So here comes the Eastern Palace Big Key now. And now is a good reason to go into Eastern.
Yeah.
Very late into the seed.
Well, it's like, I have won. I have conquered the seed. I have gotten my bow and my Eastern Palace Big Key before going into Eastern.
Yeah, that is the play that Zelga likes to do.
Yes.
And it is to the detriment here, but for what we know, this is going to be, it will lead him back onto the path where for the flute is.
Yeah.
This will be a flute activation, and then this hopefully, as long as Meyer isn't like GT, like Meyer interested in GT, then we should be set.
Yeah. I'm now hoping that Plumeria Knight is not going to... Did you see what was on the magic bat?
I don't see anything, but I could do nothing.
It was our second Castle Tower small key.
Oh.
Please do not go kill Aga 1.
Yeah, and this, because that does lead to, because there was I think an item chest, like an item spot, item drop down in that spot.
Yeah. No, there wasn't. It was useless fairy, but this could be like logically requiring like bomb shenanigans. You're not good with bomb duping. You might kill to set up the castle portal. Though I think technically you don't actually need to do that. Because you can walk in front of the castle, leave a mirror there. Actually, no, you have to do the portal because our bomb shot's in the dark world today, so you have to mirror to move the bomb out of Meyer area. So you can't do that. That isn't guaranteed in logic.
Okay, so that's number 5 on Zaga's side. So
yeah,
all that's left for him is to go and do Eastern, and that will lead to flutes, and then that should be it'll be on the path for go mode here, and just looking for pod, which it will be in Meyer. And this is a hard rush for Eastern.
Yeah, Pulmerian Knight comes out on the other side of Turtle Rock, unfortunately.
So there's our item. There's our proper item go mode around 1:51:16. He still isn't proper go mode yet until he finds the pod entrance, the pod location, that is.
Yeah. So there is a chance he checks the Eastern Palace big key chest here. I'm not sure if he will. Only because he might still think he needs boots. It doesn't want to take the chance of leaving boots behind when they're locking pod. But he probably has a good feeling that that's going to be where pod's, the flute's going to lead to pod. Plumerian Knight is going to go get their flippers. And is about to go into re-dip into Ice Palace.
And now discovers that this is a pendant. At this point in time, you gotta go for this.
This is step 1 of 4 that Plumerian Knight's about to do.
There's the flippers, and Zuka starts the fights on Armos. So far so good with a quick kill. And that's a quick kill. Number 6 on the board.
Yep, number 6 on the board. Plumerian Knight's going back to hit the switch. So Welby is not opting to Icebreaker. Actually, now we will see, because they don't have a hammer, so they can't fully walk down left side, obviously. Right side, obviously. It doesn't have a small key either to go down left side, so it may be interesting to see if they're going to grab the BR key and then go back to top, and then go do Icebreaker. No. They're just going to Ice Palace. They're just going to bomb jump instead and are hoping that the hammer is in Ice Palace. There is Zelda's food activation.
And now we're going to see the Meyer play come out here, the Meyer area play. This will be a quick check of, I guess we'll do Meyer shed first, and then this will be, I guess, a peek of the Meyer entrance. There's the bomb. He knows it's not necessary. And he's actually not going to check it, period. He's actually going to go straight to pod. He sees ether, though. Or I guess not, because I guess you get the lower door fair check, too.
Yeah.
But still not going to go for it, because I think he's kind of checking into the fact he probably thinks Meyer is the last thing he'll check, which is the correct call.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I think you have one or two ways of doing it, especially if you want to like end yourself in the light world so you can flute out of it. But he's going to find himself a pod here.
Yeah, this will be proper go mode here at 155.01. And all he really needs to do now is just go and kill Helma. That's it.
Well, I'll even discover the other two pod small keys in pod.
Yeah, at that point you just don't really care.
No, you think my other pod keys are all in GT and GT's over and done.
Yeah, it's probably just vanilla. Like, straight up just vanilla.
Yeah, I was actually hoping that he was gonna just so we could have seen the very last entrance game, but opted not to, unfortunately. Marionette's about to kind of come to the end of Ice Palace Adventures here. Has the flippers, now needs to figure out what they want to do with the flippers.
Okay, got a lot of options here, and the only correct choice here is Swamp, which is pretty bad.
Yeah, you kind of want to do Swamp first, because if not, you get Hammer first, and then there's a lot more that Hammer does for you. Fire Rod will do for you.
Yeah. So that's a Hemisar cleared, Hemisar down. That'll be 7 crystals on the board. And then that will result in a that will result in just going to GT.
Yeah.
Or sorry, GT Ganon. Which is just sitting on no sink.
Yeah. Quick flute over to 8. Swim up to the Whirlpool and go right at a couple screens. Or he's just going to flute to town. Well, Plumeria looks like they're checking the Lake Island and probably end up checking Hobo with this as well, so they'll have the hammer. Which is good. They're still going to need to get the Fire Rod.
Yeah. That's like the only reason why he would, Plumeria would go ahead and do Swamp at this point, just by doing Hammer. By just having the Hammer play.
Yeah.
Or even if you can't, only can do exactly one check there, it's only away. But at the moment, we're gonna see Zelga fighting this Ganon. We've got Gold Sword, no silvers, but that's fine. These first two phases are gonna go by really fast.
So silver's probably GT, obviously.
I mean, they probably will be because given this is version 31 we're talking about, so. These teleports aren't really helping this case. There's just no way. There's no way this is going to be a sub 2 here at this point.
Yeah, unfortunate. That was like 7. That's kind of excessive.
Yeah, if these teleports weren't as excessive, there may have been a shot at a sub 2, but it was very slim. Probably wouldn't be any time for a sub 2 anyway. But these silver arrows are in Swamp Palace, which we don't even have a swamp spell for.
So Plumeria Knight is opting to go grab the big key off the ledge, which is the Ice Palace big key. Well, probably... discovered Hookshot Cave. Hopefully, we'll... unfortunately, just not for a save point out of Zora.
That's Ganon down. So GG's out for Zelga Desan, who will come out on top here in this this daily restream. The official race time.gg is going to be 2 hours and 33 seconds, finishing second overall amongst 17 players. The number 1 player was CS Tutor, finishing with a 1:56.06.
Plumeria Knight is going to go take out Helma now. Understandable.
Yeah, you can clear this out. Just need to look for that fire rod, and that's it. And those are big, but yeah. So Zelka is in the booth with us, and he is now joined us here, and GG's.
Yo, GG's, thank you.
GG's.
Yeah, this is a certified Zelga DAP moment.
I mean, somehow this was second place. Who needs the actual mobility item before an hour 50 something? I mean, really. But yeah, all I had left when I got that Eastern big was more chests and thieves and the back entrance to Skullwoods. So, fun stuff.
Yeah. No sign of GT either. Either Becca, we never saw Meyer entrance. We never saw Becca Skullwood. We never saw Vanilla. So kind of a fucky little seat there.
Yeah, I'm legitimately curious. We found Boots on our other side?
No sign of Boots either. We know where all of our pod keys are. So I think the small key that's sitting on the Desert Torch is either a Toy Rock small or it's a Flom small, so it could be anywhere. They could be anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton to say on this one, I feel like. I think, obviously, if I had the flute, I would get to the mirror a lot faster because I have a lot more incentive to go back up the mountain whenever... and I guessed wrong on the 50-50 between do I want to do a connector or do I want to check the West Dark World entrances. So I found Swamp, which I guess was good because I eventually got back to it with the Fire Rod. But then I missed the mirror for way too long because I didn't do the connector. So
Yeah.
just a lot of, I don't know, just awkward routing choices, and it all stems from the fact that Eastern sucks. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the record, even despite the fact that it is the 100% locations reachable pod, we still ended up with 2 pod smalls in pod.
You know, that happened the last time I played one of these too, and I'm somehow not surprised.
One was on right side and one was Compass chest. So sometimes,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes this random just likes to pull perks.
Yeah, and this is the case. I think this is the case where we realize that it's not really the case. It's not really the 100% locations that's to blame because that's just how it works. You know, like it's not really considered key locked.
Yeah. No, they weren't in any key lock locations. I was just pointing that out because there's fewer chances for keys to be in pod this time around. Yeah. So, at least Plumeria Knight is in grab their fire rod, so they'll be pushing into go mode pretty quickly. They're still missing the Desert Big, but hopefully we'll be in go mode in the next 5 or so minutes.
Yeah,
I think that was the front of Turtle Rock. Was that right? So
yeah.
That's got to be like next thing that they get to then.
Yeah. So the good and the bad was without the flute. Obviously, you were more incentivized to dive Ice Palace. So you got your flippers that were completely already sequence broken around with your hammer. But by the way, how did you feel about getting the hammer off of Obo?
It was really gross because it was one of those things I just kind of did on a whim while I was just in the area, and it felt like one of those things that, especially, I realized after the fact, if you had a flute, a lot of people probably had it way faster. I mean, obviously, I know it's still out of logic, so I don't expect a ton of people to do it, but enough people, I was like, man, that feels bad to get that hammer there.
Plumeria was a lot later to it. They checked the island and fluted away because they had already picked up the mirror. So they didn't bother checking Hobo. They just checked the island entrances and left. So they got to it a lot later, unfortunately. So
yeah, I mean, it felt a little bad too when I got the flippers in ice because I almost went in earlier. Like I even cast Bombos and then I left because I just felt like that was gonna be the answer. And it was. I mean, the flippers locked the hammer and the fire rod, but and then also when I got the hammer, I did the entrances down there on the island instead of just continuing up to Zora, so I would have had that ice big and just one-shot the dungeon when I finally got back. So
yeah,
but there were a lot of just maybe could have had a little bit smoother route here, but I don't know. Just don't get the flute, and then you get to have fun.
Find everything else. We're being rated by Saints Tutor. GG's Tutor. Congratulations on the win this week for the daily.
this week.
Sorry, I'm.
No. It's fine. I thought it was funny.
Sometimes I do comms for weeklies on some Ocarina of Time related stuff. So.
Fair enough, yeah.
And that's 6 crystals for Plumeria. Hopefully, turns right back around after.
Yeah, that should be the case here. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the ghost trick, MSU.
Oh yes, I am so excited. Everybody, it's being re-released. Nobody has any more excuses. Play Ghost Trick. It comes out Friday.
Oh, it's Friday. Oh no. I have so much. I got plans. Oh no. I'm getting a new phone on Friday. Oh. And then art fights come and like literally the day after that. So I have to get prepared for that.
I don't have an excuse for not playing it on Friday because I think I pre-ordered that thing 2 months ago.
It's coming out on Steam and Switch. What more can you ask for?
And there's Plumeria Knight in go mode. Just gonna quickly pop over. Back Desert was in Village of Outcast. Probably done within 2:15, unless Ganon decides to just have the zoomies again. Ganon will have the zoomies. This is seeded RNG. Teleport patterns. Yeah, I believe Misery Mire was your first crystal, so after doing Hera and Ice.
I was trying to remember. It was either Mire or Skullwoods, which with the lamp. I can't remember for sure. It was one or the other. I did them both really back to back, basically. Actually, I think the Mire Big Key was in back of Skullwood, so I bet Skull was my first crystal.
Oh yeah.
Very nice fight.
Nice good one cycle.
All right, and that's 7 down, and that now means Pomeria is on the way to finishing the seed out.
Yeah, first seed that felt like there was a lot of I'd say there was a lot of walking around, but honestly, both of you had Mire combined. You guys had Mire Axes within 15 minutes. But some of those connector chains, I was just kind of like, this seed really kind of did fly by.
Yeah, like I felt like all my connector chains up to the mountain were kind of gross, which it wasn't terrible when I had a hook shot. But I don't think I had the hook shot for. I'm trying to remember. I know eventually that was like Mire access, but
yeah, it was the old man.
Okay, yeah, that's why the problem was that I had to rescue the old man first, which it took me a while to get up there for sure.
Yeah, you had to go down to the Dark Lake shop. Of course, I did like the little bit of. You've got the Fairy Ascension connector over at the Dark Lake shop, and then you had Spiral the Bomb shop. And of course, you have Myth's Dark Mode access. Which one do you take? And the answer is you take Spiral Cave because you want the item, and then Spiral Cave just spit you out of the Bomb Rocks.
Yeah, I did get really lucky with that, just being able to do both. But yeah, so it was basically just exactly what you said. It had the item, so I did Spiral. Even though doing Fairy Ascension would have been way faster and I was already in it, but it was an item. Kind of had to go back.
And also, congratulations for setting a record on the number of times the Smith has been picked up in a seed.
I actually was thinking that in my chat. I was like, how many times do you see the Smith kill 2 bosses in a seed and survive them both? Like, I don't know if that's like ever happened to me in Crosskeys.
Yeah, I was like wondering, was there any reason for you to hold on to this for that long?
Well, when I knew I was going to Ice and I knew it was a pendant, that's when I ended up grabbing the Smith for a second time. First time I was almost done with my loops, but then I got up on the mountain, so the old man erased him. But
yeah, my record is like 4 because I took him for a full clear GT one time recently.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And while we're here, Marionette has now finished off the seed. So GG's out. 2 Plumeria Knights. And we'll get the official race time is here. And the official race time.GG is going to be 2:14:17, finishing 11th overall, with Zeruvian finishing 16 seconds behind them at 2:14:01, and Sean Rem City finishing about 9 seconds behind Zeruvian at 2:13:53. Homewrecker finishing 2:13:31. Armalex finishing 2:13:15. Freddy N3K finishing 2:08:24. Magnahands 2:06:44. Mr. Ed 2:05:57. And then Matt's finishing at 789, finishing at 2:01:26. I'm out here. It's getting late over here, so thanks for the race, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. GG's. Plumeria Knight is with us. I'll join in quick. Hi, Plumeria Knight. GG's.
Thanks for the GG's.
Yo, GG.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Honestly, that was a kind of a funky little scene. Collectively, we were kind of like in no mode for what you guys each had to do around, say, 140, 145 mark. But I think you kind of had a little bit of a steeper climb. Zelga fake flippered himself over to Hobo and had the hammer a little earlier.
Yeah, I figured that was probably the right play to do. It felt like it was so far away. But yeah, that was just where you needed to go.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on the scene?
I don't know. I thought I did okay. I usually get into this situation where I find a bunch of items early, and then I just can't find the go mode items. And today I actually managed to find them okay. I had a little bit of trouble with some of my glitches. The splash delete at the Zora ledge didn't go very well, even though I had all the tools to pull it off.
Yeah. You did get a bit. You also got a little lucky when you were doing the trying to do the fake flipper out of Dark Shopping Mall to go back up to the Catfish area. And
Yes.
you got nailed, but you got nailed on the screen. So
I was trying to keep it on that screen so that I wouldn't get into too much trouble.
So yeah, you did not get locked in place. You just quickly were able to redo it and reset.
Did Zelga find GT?
He did not. No.
All right. Yeah, I have no idea where that was. There aren't many entrances left.
Yeah, we're down to 3. I think we're down to Back of Skull Woods, Meyer Entrance, or Vanilla. Yeah, and I think there were a couple of the fairies missing too. So
I found Waterfall Fairy, but I don't know where Pyramid Fairy was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they could be boot locked, but my guess is that Desert Small Key is probably Swamp, and so I'm thinking that the boots are probably in an available GT somewhere. It's just wasn't available before 7 crystals.
Yeah. Or it was at least fire rod blocked in some fashion. Nobody's going to find it once they got the fire rod.
Yeah, it was kind of nice that I was not sure if I should check that one chest in Swamp, because I was going to take the hammer up to Death Mountain and see if there was what the entrances were up there, but I figured it was one pretty quick item, so
yeah,
that ended up being pretty useful.
Yeah, you unfortunately dodged Hookshot Cave, which was the waterfall cave.
Oh yeah.
So that was actually somewhat vanilla, and it connected up to the floating island.
I see.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to say. It was a really good race between the two of you, honestly. There was a bit of uncertainty for a while because.
I mean, I'll take it.
The flute.
Yeah.
the flute was probably the biggest.
Yeah.
We're
That
not.
hurt.
I mean,
Well, thanks for the GGs and thanks for the restream.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, but
Mm.
you had the flute for a while, and when we saw that it was hard required, you
Ah.
were later to the hammer and the mirror. You were later to the hammer, but you were
Mhm.
first to the flute and the mirror.
I see.
So you just kind of got caught in a spot where you kind of cleared a little bit more with some more available. You had a lot more available tools. So like the fire
Sure,
rod,
yeah.
the fire rod hammer and flippers were just in spots that were just not really nice to get back to until you
Yeah, definitely.
cleared your logical stuff. So yeah, all in all, I think that about wraps it up. I think we have a. I'm not sure when our next main tournament match is. Hold on, let me check the schedule. Of course, there's a daily tomorrow. I'm not sure the. I apologize. I have so many tournament discords, including the Crosskeys tournament discord, which is starting soon. Our next main tournament match is going to be Schultz to Thursday afternoon Eastern time, and then on Friday we have the start of our second semifinal. Canada's Gone Wild versus 2C Plus, also sometime in the afternoon. Yeah. And with that, GG's, thank you both, and I think we'll kind of wrap it up here.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you for doing the commentary. Also, thanks to Professor Render and Lady Laura Linda. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And GG's again to Plumeria and all the racers in this one.